What am I protecting? What are you talking about, Marcus? You can be right about why you are pissed off and still be dead wrong about what you do next. Somebody can lie to you. They can betray you. They can disrespect you, cross that boundary, or do you dirty. Your anger can be completely justified. But the moment you use that to hurt or to humiliate somebody, control them, punish them, destroy them, or anything around you, your pain doesn't magically go away. Two things can be true. Yes, they screwed up. But so did you. So did I. See, anger can tell the truth about what happened. It can also lie about what you're entitled to do with it. So before you ask, do I have the right to be angry? Maybe ask yourself this question instead. What is my anger trying to make right, and who is it willing to hurt to get there? Anger has more than one name. And that is where we're at right now in the feelings wheel today. And anger is one of those emotions that everybody thinks they understand because everybody's felt it, right? We know what pissed off looks like. We know what mad looks like. We know what it feels like when our chest just tightens up, our jaw locks, and suddenly we have 17 closing arguments prepared for that conversation that it hasn't even happened yet. Because anger will have you arguing in the shower, most likely winning the argument, and nobody else is even there. But you're tearing their ass up. You have the evidence, you have the exhibits, the screenshots, the dates, the times. You're the prosecutor, the witness, the judge, the jury, the person standing outside the courtroom giving the interview afterwards, all because anger wants a clean case. It wants one guilty person. One guilty person, one innocent person. It wants certainty. Anger wants decisiveness, but human relationships are rarely that clean, are they? See, at the center of the wheel, we have anger. And if we move outward like we do with the other ones, anger starts becoming much more specific. Sometimes anger is feeling let down. But underneath that, we may feel betrayal, resentment. Sometimes anger is humiliation. And underneath that, we find feeling disrespected, maybe ridiculed, made to feel small. Other times, anger is frustration. But that may become annoyance, irritation, irritability, feeling completely infuriated. Other times, anger becomes distance. We withdraw, we go numb, we stop answering the calls, the texts, we say, I'm fine, when there's enough fire in us that everybody around us knows that we're not fine. And those distinctions matter. Why? Being angry because I feel betrayed is not the same as being angry because I feel powerless. Being frustrated is not the same as being humiliated, and feeling disrespected is totally different than being in danger. They can all produce anger, but they do not need the same response. A violated boundary may need a clear no and no, but betrayal may require repair, distance, or even avoiding. Frustration may need action, patience, acceptance. Humiliation may require us to recover our dignity without trying to take somebody else's dignity. If we call all of it anger, we miss what the anger came to protect. And sometimes anger is completely justified. Let's be completely clear about that today. Sometimes something actually happened. The line was crossed, the trust was broken, you're treated unfairly, somebody disrespected you, something important was threatened or dismissed or taken away from you. Feeling angry does not automatically mean that you're unstable or bitter or toxic or failing at healing or any of that. But sometimes your anger means your self-respect finally woke the hell up. Sometimes anger is that part of you that just says enough. you don't get to talk to me like that anymore. Or you don't get unlimited access to me on your terms. You don't get to keep hurting me and then criticize me for how I respond to your hurt. See, people love the peaceful version of us when peace means convenient. They love the forgiveness when forgiveness means they never have to face what they've done. See, they love emotional regulation when the regulation means that you are quiet enough so everybody else gets to remain comfortable. But silence is not always peace. Calm is not always safety. And anger is not always dysfunction. Sometimes anger is the alarm telling you there's smoke in the damn house. But an alarm is not a judge, right? It does not determine what's wrong, who's at fault. It doesn't decide the punishment. It simply tells you something needs your attention. And sometimes the alarm is responding to a fire that's happening right now. Absolutely. But sometimes it's responding to burnt toast. The alarm is real. The noise is still real. Your body is still responding. But don't bulldoze the entire house because the toast got a little crispy. And that's why we have to look at whether our anger fits the facts. Now, all anger is real, but not all anger fits the facts. Sometimes you are angry about what happened. Sometimes you're angry about what it reminded you of. Sometimes the person standing in front of you is getting sentenced for every person who came before them. Now, that does not make you crazy. Don't get me wrong. It simply means that your nervous system has kept receipts, but receipts from your past are not automatically evidence in the case that's in front of you right now. Maybe they did cross a line. Maybe an old wound joined this conversation, and maybe both happened, and two truths can sit in the same room without canceling each other out. So, ask yourself, what actually happened? What did I assume? What old wound showed up? And does the size of my response to this moment, or is it responding to the history of everything I've experienced? See, that last question will piss you off when you're already upset because anger likes certainty. Black and white. It does not enjoy being cross-examined, right? Anger does not want to hear, well, maybe there's another way to understand this. No, anger simply says, I've reached my verdict. Case closed, court adjourned. See, I know what it's like to have a valid reason to be angry and overplay my hand, to keep arguing after the point has already been made, to say, I wanted to be understood when somewhere underneath it, I also wanted the other person to hurt enough to finally understand what they've done to me. And that's the part we usually leave out, right? See, we talk about what they did. We don't always talk about what we did next, our response. We say we're setting a boundary when maybe what we're really doing is handing down a sentence, or we say we're speaking our truth when we're really using truth as a weapon. I don't know, maybe we say we wanted accountability when what we're really wanting is revenge with therapy language wrapped around it to make it sound good. Now, I'm not saying the original hurt was not real. I'm not saying justified anger is not immunity. Pain explains behavior, but it doesn't excuse it. Think about that. Your anger may have a damn good reason for being there, and you are still responsible for what you let it do to you. And that is where two truths can be uncomfortable, because two truths do not mean equal blame. And that is not some like 50-50 argument where everybody always has equal responsibility. No, sometimes one person did cause more damage. Sometimes the power was not equal. Sometimes somebody knew exactly what they were doing. See, holding two truths does not mean letting the other people off the hook. Not what I'm saying. It means refusing to lie to yourself just to keep your anger simple. See, I can love you and not trust you. I can understand you and understand your history and refuse to accept your behavior now. I can definitely forgive you and still limit your access to me. Hell, I can even be triggered and you can still have crossed a boundary. I can deserve an apology and still owe you one for how I responded. I can recognize that you were doing the best you could and admit that your best still hurt me. I can be right about the problem and wrong in my delivery. Oh, see, emotional maturity is not choosing whichever truth feels nicer. It's allowing both truths to sit at the same table without forcing one of them to leave. And see, that requires us to stop asking only who started it. Everybody wants to know that. And start asking instead, what am I protecting? See, anger a lot of times acts as a bodyguard. Oh, and it's loyal. It's super loyal and super fast. It doesn't wait for a committee meeting to convene. No, it sees something moving toward an old bruise and it gets ready to break that chair over somebody's head. See, the problem is that anger doesn't always know what year it is. It may be protecting you from something happening now, sure, but it may also be protecting you from something that happened 5, 10, 20, or 40 years ago. See, sometimes the person standing in front of you touched a bruise, but they didn't create it. And that doesn't automatically make them innocent, though. It simply means we need the current facts before anger starts passing out the sentences. What is your anger protecting? What's my anger protecting in this moment? Is it a boundary? Or is it my dignity? Maybe it's my family. That anger may be protecting my recovery, my sense of safety, or is it protecting our pride? Maybe our need to be right. Maybe your fear of being rejected. My refusal to admit that I expected something from somebody and they disappointed me once again. See, that's why naming those deeper emotions matter, because if I'm really feeling betrayed, screaming is not going to restore the trust. If I'm humiliated, humiliating you is not going to return my dignity. If I'm frustrated, destroying this relationship may not solve the problem. If I'm afraid, acting dangerous may keep everybody away while doing nothing to make me feel safe. If I'm grieving, anger can keep me fighting a reality I don't want to accept. See, anger can feel more powerful than grief. It can feel more respectable than fear. It can feel safer than saying, that hurt. See, anger lets us sit up straight, puff our chest out, and flex. Hurt makes us feel exposed. What we mean is, I mattered less to you than I thought I did. See, sometimes we say, I don't give a damn, when underneath it, what we mean is, I gave more of a damn than I want anybody to really know about. Other times, we say, they can go to hell. And maybe we really mean, I do not know what to do with the fact that I still care. See, that's not weakness. That's the truth underneath our armor. See, you keep saying, I'm angry, because anger is easier to admit than what comes next. Letdown might mean I expected more from you. Humiliated means you made me feel small. Frustrated might mean I feel powerless to change this. Distance can often mean I don't trust myself to stay close without ending up getting hurt again. See, that's why anger has more than one name. The anger's real, but it may not tell the whole truth. And before you confront them, forgive them, block them, or burn the whole damn bridge down, there's usually one sentence underneath your anger that you still have not said out loud. That sentence might be something like, that really hurt more than I want you to know. Or, I needed you and you weren't there. I felt dismissed. I felt powerless. I'm embarrassed that this matters so much to me. I'm afraid that this is going to happen again. Or, I miss what I thought we had. I don't trust you anymore, and I do not know whether that can be repaired. See, that is where the altar begins. And when I say altar, I'm not talking about performing for a church. No, I'm talking about the place where you and I stop defending ourselves long enough to tell the truth. See, the altar is not where your anger, my anger gets murdered. It's not where we become agreeable. It's not where we excuse abuse or remove every boundary or pretend nothing happens. No, the altar is where anger stops lying about its name. See, some anger needs a boundary. Some anger needs an action. Some anger needs a hard conversation. Some anger needs an apology from you. Some anger needs distance, separation. Some anger needs grief because you're never going to receive the apology, explanation, or repair you deserve. So before you decide what to do, bring your anger here and ask, what really happened? What part of this is fact and what part of this story have I added? What am I feeling besides anger? What's my anger protecting? How do I protect that without destroying myself and everybody that's standing near me? See, maybe the answer is to speak. Maybe it's to leave. Maybe it's to stay and repair. Maybe it's to shut your mouth for 10 minutes because your nervous system is driving and wisdom is still trying to catch up to the car. But do not confuse becoming less reactive with becoming less honest. Tell the truth cleanly. Name the boundary without turning another human being into the target. Own your response without pretending the original harm didn't happen. Hold both truths. Absolutely. Your anger may be completely justified. Your behavior is still your responsibility. My anger may be old. This pain may still be real. My anger may be protecting me, but it may also be costing me connection and peace and dignity that it was trying to save. So no, I'm not asking you to stop being angry. It's like asking you to be calm and calm down. I'm asking you to listen closely enough to find out what part of you is speaking. Is it a part that feels betrayed? Is it a part that feels humiliated? Maybe a part feels frightened. A part of you is still grieving. A part that finally knows it deserves more than it's ever received. Whatever it is, name it. Because once anger has a name, it becomes something you can work on without being something that simply works through you. Anger deserves a voice, but it does not automatically deserve your steering wheel. This is Between Sessions with Markus. Presence before progress.